Today, Overwatch 2 is missing some key features from the original, like loot boxes, assault mode, and universal praise. This is CheckPoint.
Welcome to CheckPoint. When it comes down to it, we know what you want.
A great price on a used automobile.
That's not really what we do here.
A simple solution for grout and tile stains?
No, it's something that they came here for.
Stories that barely qualify as news and even less so as entertainment.
Close enough.
Remember when Google's Stadia was unveiled at GDC and it was famously displayed next to three of video gaming's most famous failures? According to Video Game History Foundation co-director Frank Cifaldi, the concept for the exhibit, which he stresses was not his idea or his fault, ended up getting too many cooks into a weird combination of gaming history, but also cool objects people will want to take a selfie with, and somehow that set the tone for Stadia's entire lifespan. And sure, it didn't actually tank an entire company's hardware division or have to be shamefully buried in a desert, but Stadia is, as many predicted, officially dead. In a pretty succinct blog post from Stadia VP Phil Harrison, we learned that the platform hasn't gained the traction with users that Google expected, and it's going to be added to the company's graveyard. But, in an act of unexpected kindness, Google will be refunding everyone's purchases by the time the service officially wraps up on January 18th. But, of course, they are actually still an unfeeling, soulless corporation, so they didn't tell the people who are actually working on Stadia games before this happened, so most of them found out the same way that we did, which was via snarky tweets. Like PlayOn, who announced that Hot Wheels Unleashed was launching on Stadia before following up with this. And of course, Google themselves have just this week launched a new line of gaming-focused Chromebooks that are advertised as tailored for streamed gaming and are now being rather sheepishly marketed as optimized for NVIDIA GeForce Now, Amazon Luna, and the Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta. You know, all those beloved industry partners that Google have always respected and didn't just spend 2 years and millions of dollars trying to muscle out of the market. Those guys! We love those guys. They're legends, yes.
Overwatch 2 has had a rocky first couple of weeks. First, there were the terrible connection issues. Then there was the whole problem of needing a contract phone number to log in, meaning players on prepaid or VoIP plans couldn't play the game. You know, like children. But eventually the network stabilized, and Activision Blizzard said it would sort of compromise on the phone number thing, so the end result is what? A game people are calling Overwatch 1.5? A glorified Overwatch 1 expansion? Just Overwatch 1 with a battle pass now? Depends where you look, I suppose. Here's something interesting that was brought to our attention. If you go to, for example, Metacritic, the review score aggregator, the PC version of Overwatch 2 has a user score of 1.5 out of 10 based on over 1,800 ratings. The players are not being kind to Blizzard on this one. Now, the Xbox Series X version of the game fares a bit better at 2 out of 10, based on only 63 user ratings. However, on the actual Xbox storefront itself, Overwatch 2 boasts a much better user score of 3.8 out of 5, based on 54,800 reviews, the vast majority of which are 4 or 5 stars. Why the discrepancy? Well, if you sort by date and scroll way back, you'll see that this aggregate includes, you guessed it, every Xbox review for Overwatch 1 as well. Is this a Microsoft blunder or Blizzard's fault? Was this a purposeful way to capitalize on good reviews for Overwatch 1, or did they just swap the files in the same storefront entry because it's basically the same game anyway? Either way, if you want to read reviews from 2017 with now useless information on loot boxes or evergreen feedback that the game plays well enough but has a toxic community, Xbox has you covered.
How much money does a developer make when you get to play their game for free? A lot. According to a recent SEC filing from ARK Survival Evolved developer Studio Wildcard, the company got $2.5 million from Microsoft in exchange for the game being available on Game Pass for 6 months. Not bad, right? Well, they got $3.5 million from Sony for the 5 weeks it was on PlayStation Plus, so that's an interesting spread. And why? While it would be tempting to assume there are either cartoonish levels of malfeasance or incompetence at play, likely these numbers have something to do with how many people were expected to play this game on PlayStation Plus, lots, and Game Pass, lots less. Which does kind of track with what Microsoft just told the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, namely that they couldn't possibly do a monopoly after they buy Activision, because even if every single person who plays Call of Duty on PlayStation moved over to Xbox, that Sony's player base would still be significantly larger than Microsoft's. Their words, not mine. So what have we learned here? Who knows? Probably nothing. You can't really evaluate the entire state of Microsoft and Sony's business model based on contracts for a single game that came out 5 years ago and was universally acknowledged to be mid at best. But it's nice to collect some facts every once in a while, don't you think?
Pokemon Go Fest 2022 was a huge success by any measurement, but the one I'm most interested in is, how many Pokemon did you all catch? And that number is 1,750,000,000 Pokemon. 1.75 billion. If Pokemon were real, apparently we would have hunted them to extinction long ago. Then again, let's go a little deeper. Paul, can you bring up a Pidgey? See that? That's a Pidgey, right? And what is a Pidgey? It's a bird. It's just a bird. It has moves like beak attack and wet shit, but it's just a bird. And here on Nestle Presents The Earth, we have birds, which is why I know it's a bird. And we have a lot of fucking birds. Scientists think that there's between 9,000 and 11,000 species of birds on the planet. We humans are one species of animal, not bird. Try to fucking keep up here. And how many total birds across those 9,000 to 11,000 species? Research at the University of New South Wales puts it between 50 and 480 billion. This also explains why your parents won't let you have a pet bird, because there's like 8 gazillion humans and that's not enough to go around. Oh, I'm not done. Check this dude out. This is a caterpie. Also, it's actually a caterpillar, an insect. And how many insects on the real Earth? The Smithsonian Institution's Department of Entomology estimates that among the 30 million species of insects, there are 10 quintillion insects alive right now. Here is that number written out. 10 billion times 1,000 times another 1,000 and times another 1,000. And I don't even know what species this pile of Sonic's 30th anniversary ramen is, but if we have an analog for it on Earth, there's probably 1,000 versions of it and 27 million just running around eating spiders. Therefore, we are not in danger of running out of Pokemon anytime soon. Go catch 'em all. It'll only take... well, you've got time.
In news that will surprise nobody, Meta's VR platform Horizon Worlds doesn't just look bad and weird, it is bad and weird. According to some spicy memos that The Verge got a hold of, internal user data shows that developers at Meta do not like using Horizon Worlds, and the company's Metaverse VP, Vishal Shah, is, to put it mildly, unhappy about that. On September 30th, he sent out a memo telling managers that they would be held accountable for having their teams use Horizon Worlds at least once a week, saying, quote, "Everyone in this organization should make it their mission to fall in love with Horizon Worlds." But why don't people love it? Well, perhaps because the onboarding experience has been described by Shah himself as confusing and buggy, which is only a problem because Shah's also told developers there's absolutely no plans in place to fix the platform's issues beyond saying developers need to be more collaborative and flexible. If you are on Horizon, I need you to fully embrace ambiguity and change. Gee, why don't people all love this product that they've all spent so much time on? This thing that their managers are now forcing them to use even though it sucks. Meta employees, I'm sure it is not fun for you to see the company you work for rapidly transitioning into Douglas Adams level of absurd corporate evil and hubris, but on the bright side, his books are very funny.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet put out a new trailer recently, introducing a new gym leader, Iono? Nanjamo. Look, I've only seen it spelled out, so until I hear the English voice, she's Nanjamo. She's got 2 Magnemite-shaped autonomous hair clips, a poorly fit coat, which I can only assume is some sort of fabric-based power armor, and squid teeth. She has squid teeth. I can't ignore it. She is the progenitor of every being from the Splatoon series, and I'm happy we can finally start fleshing out that evolutionary line. But also, she's not content with simply being the leader of a gym full of electricity, which, by the way, is some shit, given that every gym I've walked into in my time on this planet has had at least some electricity, so I don't think it's a terribly original concept. No, when confronted with the love, respect, and let's just say it, fear of the living sources of clean energy she has queenly power over, she realized her true calling was influencer, proving that even in a world where children can freely roam the countryside, battle and capture wild animals, and even command gods to live in their balls, there's no more sought-after profession for kids than internet celebrity begging brands for sponsorship. Drink it in, little ones, for Pokemon has seen the research and knows you'd rather hawk discount sun projectors and medically dubious vibrators than accomplish anything of actual merit. It's nice to be back after a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, it was really just good to catch up on video game news and take a break from all of the other news.
Do anything fun for Thanksgiving?
Oh, I thought about dying a lot.
Coming up, Fortnite will feature DC's Black Adam as a new skin to go with its other The Rock skin, meaning it's finally okay to start writing Rock on Rock fanfic. Wait, what do you mean that's already an AO3 category? Oh, look, I've only seen it spelled out in English. Fuck. Try that again. Anything in the news that you thought specifically, you're like, wow, this is an interesting thing that's going on? I know, me too, right? Like, a lot of the news felt like, here's a thing, and here's some more stuff for that thing that you already have.
Yeah, I did see something that I couldn't. There's apparently a Persona 5 like card game coming out in 2023.
Like played with paper.
Yeah, like made by like a board game company, but I couldn't get any information on the actual game. And realistically, it was one of those things. It was interesting to me, but not actually newsworthy in any way.
I mean, in as much as like, because is it a TCG? Like, is it kind of like? Is okay? Does it all come in a box?
Yeah, I assume. I don't know. It's
Right.
just been announced, but by the judging the company that did it, it's like it'd be like kind of a Red Dragon Inn situation.
Okay, so you
We talked about that game on CheckPoint last week, I think.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, like you said, there isn't actually a ton of info about it. It's just like, this game is going to happen, and the company that made it is relatively like well regarded, so it could be good.
Because there's lots of games that are like, you can totally buy this game, but 80% of it comes in this box, and we will release smaller boxes that have and parcel out a little bit over time, you know. But a la Red Dragon Inn.
yeah.
It's not going to be like Magic where you're just buying blind packs and then building your best set of Phantom Thieves, I guess. I don't know. But who knows?
We'll find out
Yeah.
in 2023, in like October 2023. Like,
Yeah.
more news will come out when it's ready.
Always does. News
No.
is always coming out.
Like tears.
It is surprising to think that Stadia is actually wrapping itself up, in a way, because it really seemed like Google was positioning this as, we're gonna drag this shit out forever. You can see it spiraling like those coins in the funnels that you put in at a Dairy Queen
Yeah.
to kill time before you get your ice cream. It's like, yeah, you can just see it going around and around and around, but you're like, it's never quite gonna fall, it's never quite gonna fall, it's never quite gonna fall. And to hear them just be like, we're done. Also, we're going to give you all your money back because it's the least we could do. And I'm like, I guess. It would have been something maybe... You know what's weird? Actually, this is the thought I'm having. I think Stadia would have done better if Google had said, if you buy in, if you're on board for this, and we kill it at in like the next 3 years, if we decide we don't want to do this in the next 3 or 4 years, we will give you your money back 100%. Like if they just basically commit to that in the TOS like immediately to be like, if this all goes to shit, we promise you'll get your money back if we kill it before 2024. I think people would have been like, oh, well then there's no risk to me. And they might have flooded the platform. It's like you got to take like really stupid risks sometimes to make a thing happen. And that might be the stupid risk they would have had to have taken.
Well, I mean, like, think about it this way. Like, it's tremendously difficult to launch a console. Like, Sony did it.
Yeah.
Nintendo basically only had to do it once.
Yeah.
Right? Sega, well, that's not true, but you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to get that level of cash in and buy.
And
like,
then you're building momentum.
And you've got to keep building your momentum. And like Xbox, like, I would argue that they're still, like, really working on building that momentum if, you know, because they're talking about how much less users they have than Sony.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, there's all these reasons why the Xbox should be doing better, right? Because, like, PlayStation 5s were hard to find and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, why aren't they, like, doing as well as they want to do there? And I think it's just, you know, you've got to really put it in. So I think if Google had been prepared to lose money for, like, maybe 10 years on Stadia.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of years. I mean, when you say that.
I'm sure Microsoft did, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they've also, like, been able to, like, build out other... It's all sort of like they're coming at it from, like, a holistic benefit to the company. This might not make money but right now, but, you know...
Yeah. By spreading it around, we can kind of make this work. And, I mean, Microsoft's not a total gaming company either, but, I mean, Xbox itself just has a wide enough... It has enough tendrils into so many other parts of gaming within the Windows universe.
Exactly.
That it's like we can afford to take a bit of a hit on this for a little while longer. I think we'll be okay. Google's
like, let's not making money now.
Yeah, if it's not 100%, if I'm not good at it right away, then stop. And kids, that's another good lesson, right?
God,
if you are not good at a thing, just give up and let other people do it, because after all, why ever be a success?
Yeah, why ever give yourself time to succeed?
I didn't start this job until I was into my late 30s, right? Like,
only people who God has gifted with lots and lots of money are allowed to take time and be successful.
I mean, that's what we're learning these days, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.